So, Vivo just launched the V60 and this phone clearly knows what it wants to be. It looks like it's aimed at creators, photographers, and people who want a phone with decent battery and durability. It isn't trying to be the most powerful gaming phone, but instead, it doubles down on a few areas and nails them really well. I'm your host CJ, and let's check what's up with the Vivo V60. The unit we have here is in the berry purple colorway, and this shade really makes the phone stand out. For my taste, berry purple is the one that screams personality, if this doesn't make it obvious that I like purple. Anywho, in the hand, the Vivo V60 feels surprisingly light for its size, weighing only 192 grams. At 7.53 millimeters thin, it's easy to grip and does not feel bulky in the pocket or in the hand. The curved edges and ultra-narrow bezels also add to its sleekness. Despite being slim and light, it doesn't come off as fragile. In fact, it feels strong and sturdy. Its durability is surprisingly good too, having both IP68 and IP69 ratings, which are rare. To put it simply, you can take this phone outdoors without stressing about rain, spills, or even drops near water. Most premium phones today stop at IP68, so having both ratings gives you more peace of mind. If you're the type who goes on hikes, beach trips, or works in harsher environments, this is the feature that really matters. For buttons and ports, you're basically looking at the usual ensemble. The volume rocker and power button on the right side, the SIM card tray, one half of the stereo speakers and USB-C port are at the bottom, while the top has the other speaker. Front and center is a 6.77-inch AMOLED display. It's bright and vibrant, having a peak brightness of 5000 nits. The 120Hz refresh rate makes scrolling through apps and menus smooth, and gaming feels more responsive with the fast refresh rate. I also noticed that the display curves just right. Sometimes curved screens can feel too aggressive and make accidental touches an issue, but here, it feels balanced. It makes the design look premium without being inconvenient. The stereo speakers are a nice touch too. They get reasonably loud and provide good clarity for vocals and mids. Movies and YouTube videos sound enjoyable on them. If you are picky with bass though, you'll notice that the low end is not as strong. Nonetheless, it will still give you a decent multimedia experience. For biometrics, you get both an in-display fingerprint scanner and face unlock. Both are snappy and reliable, especially the fingerprint reader, as it's able to unlock quickly the moment I put my finger down. The cameras are really the highlight of the Vivo V60, and you can tell this is where Vivo wants to impress. Co-engineered with Zeiss, the system is designed to bring versatility and professional level options into a phone. Having a 50-megapixel main, 50-megapixel super telephoto lens, and 8-megapixel ultra-wide, all tuned by Zeiss. In good lighting, the lens delivers genuinely impressive clarity and detail, especially when zooming in on distant subjects like buildings and landscapes. It outperforms most mid-range telephoto systems, and the stabilization makes handheld shooting more reliable. The addition of the Zeiss multifocal portrait system is another highlight. By giving you focal lengths at 85 and 100 on top of the usual options, Vivo is clearly aiming at creators who want more flexibility in framing portraits. Vivo also leans heavily on AI-powered features to extend creative possibilities. On the front, the 50-megapixel selfie camera with autofocus is another strong point. It produces sharp results for both photos and videos, and the autofocus helps ensure that the shots remain in focus. Skin tones look generally pleasing, and details come out really well. For video capture, you get up to 4K at 30 frames per second for both the rear and the front cameras. Overall, the camera setup feels like it was designed for users who prioritize creative flexibility rather than just raw point-and-shoot results. It's one of the most versatile systems in its segment, but like any specialized tool, it works best when you give it the right conditions. The Vivo V60 comes in two variants, 12GB of RAM with either 256GB or 512GB of storage. It runs on the Snapdragon 7 Gen 4 chip, which is part of Qualcomm's newer mid to upper mid-range lineup. You can check out our benchmark scores to give you an idea of where it stands. On Antutu, it scores just over 1 million points, which is really good. In real-world use, the phone handles everyday tasks easily. Browsing, messaging, social media, and video streaming are smooth without any hiccups. Switching between multiple apps also feels snappy. For casual and light games, they run really well. For instance, Pokemon Unite runs on the highest settings at a stable 60 frames per second, and even during hectic 5-on-5 clashes, the frame doesn't budge. Uma Musume is also no problem at all, with smooth animations during races and fast load times that make the experience feel seamless. For heavier games, the V60 handles things with balance rather than brute force. An example would be Wuthering Waves, where playing felt smoothly on medium settings, handling around 40 FPS through exploration and combat. The moment you switch to high or very high settings, however, it dips into the 30s or lower, which become noticeable during busier moments. Persona 5 The Phantom X behaves in a similar way. At default settings, it runs fine with smooth cutscenes and battles at around 50 to 55 FPS, but maxing out the visuals causes occasional drops. It's not game-breaking, but you can feel it in extended sessions. What I like is that the phone doesn't get uncomfortably hot while gaming. Even after long sessions, the phone does get warm, but not excessively hot, and performance remains consistent without aggressive throttling. You might not be hitting the usual flagship frames, but you're getting a consistent experience without any overheating. The Vivo V60 runs on FunTouch OS over Android, and the overall experience feels smooth and polished. Customization is also a strong point. You can change themes, icons, and layouts, and even the in-display fingerprint sensor comes with different unlock animations to match your style, which is a nice touch of personality. There is some bloatware out of the box. A few apps are pre-installed and others are tucked away in folders, so it takes a bit of cleanup if you prefer a minimal setup. The upside is that most of them can be removed, and once that's done, the software feels much cleaner. On the feature side, FunTouch OS integrates nicely with the V60's hardware. Overall, the software strikes a good balance. It's not the lightest Android skin, but it's responsive, customizable, and practical, giving users plenty of control without being overwhelming. Battery life is another area where the Vivo V60 excels. It packs a huge 6500 mAh Blue Bolt battery, and in PC Mark, it managed over 22 hours. In day-to-day use, I easily got 2 full days without charging, even with camera use, gaming, and regular social media browsing. That's a big deal if you want a phone you don't need to baby about how long it'll go. When it's time to charge though, the 90-watt flash charge is very quick. I was able to get the phone around 50% in just 20 minutes. The bypass charging feature is also useful. It powers the phone directly from the charger when you're gaming or doing heavy tasks, reducing battery heat and wear. For connectivity, the phone covers all the bases. You get 5G, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.3, NFC, GPS, and USB-C. Everything worked reliably during my time with it, from wireless audio to mobile data. The Vivo V60 is not a phone that tries to do everything. Instead, it focuses on being really good at things that matter to its audience. You get a premium design with fun colors, plus rugged durability with both IP68 and IP69 ratings. The cameras built by Zeiss are versatile and creative, giving you tools to take shots that stand out. And that massive 6500 mAh battery easily gives you 2 days of use, which is something that many phones still struggle today. For photographers, content creators, travelers, or even just anyone who wants a phone that lasts long and feels durable, the V60 is an excellent choice. It's not the strongest phone for heavy gaming at maximum settings, but for everything else, the Vivo V60 offers a balanced and polished experience that feels dependable and unique. The Vivo V60 is an SRP of 28,999 pesos for the 256GB variant, while the 512GB version goes for 30,999 pesos. So there you have it. What do you think of the Vivo V60? Are you gonna grab it? Let us know in the comment section below. If you find this video helpful or informative, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon so you won't miss out on any of our future uploads. Follow us on our socials, that's Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And visit yogurtech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Once again, this has been CJ, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! See you later!